welcome back to Stella Rose Bella, where I talk about the latest Asian drama, music, shows, and artists. Today I am going to wrap up my video on Word of Honor. I believe if y'all have been watching the drama, you can also watch it on Youku's official website. There is also an English sub version. It is a VIP pass. You have to get it. I watch it without the English subs. So yeah. Anyways, it's on Amazon Prime, not the whole, like all the episodes. I think it's based on the schedule that they upload onto YouTube. So that's the same like speed that they're going on. That's what I see on Amazon Prime. And obviously you can watch it on YouTube with English subs as well. So first I am going to talk about the characters Wan Kexing and Zhou Zishu, and then their change and everything, and then I'm gonna talk about both each other's like lights, things that I wish the writer added into the scripts or the story, really foreshadowing things that the writer added, which you may have not noticed in the beginning, but then later when you rewatch it you're like, oh wow, okay. Going back into the stuff that they added in the beginning and then sort of like coming back to it full circle, that is the gist of Wan Kexing's character. I've seen some people online saying that they felt like Wan Kexing's character wasn't consistent throughout the drama. I'm gonna disagree with that simply because once Wan Kexing kneeled down in front of Ashu when he went to save Ashu, that he is Zhang, the student. So people are like, wait, why would he kneel? Like, there's Guigu's people in the back and watching, like, you know, the Ghost Valley, like, leader, like, kneeling before someone else. Like, what? Because they've always kneeled before him and he's kneeling in front of Ashu. Like, what the heck? And I was like, no, I don't think so. And I feel like this is showing the characters change for the drama. So in the beginning, when you see Wan Kexing, the first scene that you see him in is in this red costume and this like little crown that he has, and I just feel like that sense, the red costume, I feel like it sort of represents him as a guigu, guju, but at the same time I feel like the red also maybe symbolized like blood and revenge, and sort of him reminding himself like he wants to get revenge on these people. I don't know, that's how I feel. Because the red is very strong, and I don't know if that's what it symbolizes, but that's how I feel about that costume. And then, like, I don't know if people knew that Wan Kexing is the, like, guju and from the very beginning. The scene that you see him later in is when Ashu is, like, outside, like, bathing in the sun and, like, drinking wine, and then you see Wan Kexing wearing all this, like, white costume and with this fan like looking outside, because Zhang's like, hey, look at this guy like outside like sitting under the sun. That image of him in a white costume, it's very different obviously from what you see him in the first scene that you see him in the Ghost Valley. So the different contrast, this is a different vibe he gives off. It's like, I'm a good person. And I don't know, I just felt like it's sort of like him protecting himself. Based on the interviews that I've seen that's related to the drama, apparently the color of the clothing that Wan Kexing and Ashu, they wear, it represents how they feel in that like phase. Wan Kexing, in the beginning he's like wearing white and like really like bright colors, and then later I feel like the more he's getting closer to Ashu, and like later and later you see like glimpses of red that comes out. But when they're fighting with yayyyyy, that big battle, and yayyyyy is like, why are you still like with this like guju? You know that he's from the Ghost Valley, he's the leader and everything, and he's wearing pink, but also he's wearing a purple cape. And apparently what the people online said, that if he gets killed, it's sort of like protect himself and cover himself, and sort of like not showing like how he passed away, or not showing his like identity, sort of like keep how he was, like how he looked like when he went out the door. Finally, you see him in another costume, which is a costume that he may have worn if he grew up in Zhangzhehan. Like if his parents didn't die, and he and if he didn't go with revenge or anything, like if he didn't have any of that into his mind. Let's talk about Zhou Zhishu. Zhou Zhishu, or Ashu, the name that Wen Kexing, he's the only one that says that name, and it's like sort of their name. We all know that he's the leader of the Tianchuang, and he left the organization because he just couldn't live with that pain and guilt of all these people that, you know, passed away. It wasn't until he met Wen Kexing, I feel like that's like a turning point in these two characters. They both are in the highest position, and they both just met, and then they just connected. And so I feel like in the beginning he didn't trust Wen Kexing. He's like, oh, Wen Gongzi. That's what he calls him, like in the beginning, sort of. And he said later, he said Wen Xiong. It's sort of like a closer type of relationship. Wen Xiong is like this sort of like, I guess in a way, sort of 这个称呼好像就是 like this way of calling someone Wen Xiong is sort of like a closer type of vibe, like a friendly, like more closer vibe. And then he said Lao Wen. Lao Wen is sort of like, that's the type of, I guess, like way you call it your very close friend. That's how I feel when I like listen to this. And then I had to rewatch it, and I was like, oh, okay. I see the change that's in Ashu. Like he didn't trust Wen Kexing in the beginning, and then later he did. And the first thing that he did for trusting Wen Kexing is, and he took off his mask, and Wen Kexing finally sees how Zhou Zhishu looks like. And he decided, you know, this is like my first step into showing you, like revealing like how I look like. Also, like when Wen Kexing was out in the street and like, oh, like let me like I want to eat this like little like snack stuff, and then like watermelon, and Ashu pays for it. Ashu, he is someone that's like very gentle, as you all see throughout the drama, but he's also like, fans have described his character, and I really agree. Wenrou and also Zhang are like strong, and it's like when you need help or you need someone to lean on, he's someone that you can trust and lean on. That's his character, and I agree with that, because throughout the drama you see that he's very like gentle, and gentle because if you don't want to share something, he won't force you to share something. If you want to, you would obviously share with him. He's not gonna force you to, and he's someone you can lean on throughout the drama. When he finds out who Wen Kexing is, and even he found out, like he knew, like later he knew that Wen Kexing is the guzhu. He's like, I'm still gonna stand by your side no matter what, because you are my shidi and you're someone that I care about, and I'll protect you from now on. So I feel like that's sort of like the vibe. Also, one thing to add for Zhishu is that like he would know your plans, like when Wen Kexing went to find yayyyyy, like when it was almost like New Year's or the winter solstice. Like during that time he knew that Wen Kexing was planning something, but he didn't like straight up ask him like, what is your plan and everything. He just like, you know, he's like, I know, but I'm not gonna say anything. Let's get into how Ashu and Wen Kexing are each other's light. So Wen Kexing, everyone knows about like his parents' death and revenge and everything, and like everyone has left him, and he meets Zhishu again, and he's like, wow, like you are the person that, like the good part, you know, of Wen Kexing, like the part that wasn't ruined before everything. And so I feel like that's a part of, like he finds that a part of him in Zhishu, and also like sort of like a chance to be a good person. I don't know, not like a good person, but you know what I mean. It's sort of like a reminder of him, like, you know, before all this stuff, this revenge stuff, he was like a normal child with a happy childhood, and everything. Towards the end, we all see that Wen Kexing sort of lied to Zhishu, saying that, you know, I can give you this like 六星合法 that like wugong to you and help you like heal. And he, towards the end, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna give you my life because that's how much I trust you and in a sense love you. That's how much I would do anything for you, basically. Like he's saying like I would do anything for you because, and also towards the end of that, before he like fainted, he's told Zishu that like the person that's left behind is the most painful one because he knows that feeling. As for Ashu, he before he met Wen Kexing, he didn't want to live anymore because he just had this burden of like feeling that everyone died because of him and because of his decision. But because of Wen Kexing and like everything he sees and like he understands Wen Kexing, he wants to help Wen Kexing and sort of like, in a sense, I feel like Wen Kexing gave him a reason to like, it sort of like sparked this like fire in him and sort of wanting to live. And you obviously at the end when they were in the armory and then Wen Kexing's like, didn't you say you wanted to like, just you don't want to live anymore? What happened? And then actually was like, that was before I met you. And I was like, whoa. I feel like for the both of them, they both said similar things. When Wen Kexing found out that Zhou Zhishu's nails, about Zhou Zhishu's nail and how Zhou Zhishu's not gonna live long, he said that like, I'm always like, it's always not the right timing, everything's always too late. When Zishu and Wen Kexing went back to Siji Shanzhuang, Zishu told Wen Kexing about his past, how like he felt like they both feel like they can't protect the people that they want and also like everything's like too late, like in that type of sense of idea. That's how I feel. And after watching that and understanding Wen Kexing, like his story and also Ashu's like story, both of them combined, it felt very painful after learning about, even just talking about it now. I just feel like it's very painful and I just cried because I was like, they are each other's light and they are each other's zhiji because they understand each other so well, so deep. They can't lose one another. Just that I wish the writer added to the script. So first off, this writer for this drama is a big fan of Priest, and she's, I believe, based on one of the interviews that I've read, seems like she's pretty new. She's a newbie in terms of screenwriting or as a writer, and so I have to give props to her for writing this script in a way that does keep sort of like, as they've said in the interviews, like the essence of the original story. And I feel like she's very smart in using certain poetic phrases into these scripts to make it sort of some things not as obvious. I feel like the poetic lines that she added made the characters more like Bauman. Also like how she puts a lot of like foreshadowing stuff into the drama that you have to go and rewatch it, that you realize what she has done. Comparing to the other like dramas that have been adapted from an original novel, I feel like comparing those to her, this drama really, I feel like this is one of the best ones that I've seen. And one of the things that I wish that she did was Kexing went to his death. I felt like he should have told Ashu. I was a bit mad in the beginning, but then later, thinking about it like later, I feel like if something like bad happens to me in real life, or like anything bad happens to me, I would not tell my parents or like anyone really close. I don't know, it's just sort of like this mentality of like sort of, you don't want the people that really loves and care about you to know anything that you're like something bad happens or like anything. It's sort of like protecting them in a sense. So I feel like that's probably the mindset that Wen Kexing has. I felt like Wen Kexing maybe knows, or like I wish he would have like noticed, or something that shows that Wen Kexing notices that Ashu is like slowly losing his senses. In another sense, I feel like when Ashu gave this his wine bottle to Wen Kexing to drink, Wen Kexing like split it out. He's like, oh my gosh, this is so sour, how can you drink this? And another thing that Wen Kexing did was like he was just playing around with Ashu when they were in Siji Shanzhuang, when Ashu was doing the 醉生梦死. When he was playing with Zhou Zishu, putting it on his like head, that like sprinkle of stuff, maybe Wen Kexing was testing. I don't know, I feel like Wen Kexing, maybe in his heart he knows, but he didn't say it out loud. I just wish the writer added some part to show that Wen Kexing knows. And another thing is that I wish I knew more about Ashu's like story, because I feel like a lot of the drama, like almost halfway through the drama, we all find out what Wen Kexing's like story and like everything. In the beginning, you don't really know much about Zhang, other than the memory that you see, like sort of like talking about the past with his Shidi. I think that's what I'm really like bitter about, because I want to know more about his past and how he was like as a Zhang like person. You only get a little glimpse of it, but not much. I want more of that. So yeah. And so let's get into the foreshadowing part, the fubi that this writer has sprinkled throughout the drama. One of them being Cao Weining and Xiang's. And so Cao Weining, when he woke up, because he like protected Xiang and people, he said that I dreamt about how like I was waiting for you at the bridge, which is sort of like in the underworld, where the bridge of like where you cross, I believe, to drink the soup or whatever. Okay. And he's like, I was waiting for you, and then like a old lady came and it was you, and like I thought, like, aren't you supposed to be a young you but not an old you, you know, that type of thing. In the novel, actually, there's like an extra where Xiang and Cao Weining meet again at the bridge. So it's like sort of like this Chinese mythology thing, which I've learned as a kid and sort of googled a bit about it more. So when people pass away, they go into like the underworld. I don't know how else to describe it, but basically there's this like road you go on, and there's this you drink this soup called mong po tong, and this soup, when you drink it, it's like you forget everything that happened in this, like basically this life that you just like moved, the past life basically, and then you get reincarnated based on like if you did like good deeds or anything, you become a human again, or like whatever. In the extra, Cao Weining waited for Xiang because he's like, I'm gonna wait however long Xiang, you know, because he expected like an old lady, but it was the 17-year-old Xiang that came running to him in their wedding clothes. The bracelet that Wen Kexing gave to Xiang and Cao Weining, the red string that he said is a wedding gift from Dawu, and saying that, like, you know, this red string will connect with you guys like for like many lives, that you two will meet again and be together for those many lives. Meng Po heard about their story and felt bad for them, and she gave him the red string, the Hongxian. And so when they were reincarnated, they both had this like Hongxian. I don't remember, but sort of along those lines, and they grew up together and they got married. That is the story in the novel. And Cao Weining and Xiang and Wen Kexing and everyone, they are all like living somewhere else, and the place that they're living in, the sign outside of the place is usually the family name of the person who owns it, or like whatever, okay? And it said Li Zai, and Li, the last name for Li, is actually I believe it's Xiang or Cao Weining, one of them. When they get reincarnated, their characters, one of them is born in that family. So that's that, okay? So I feel like these three clues have already showed sort of like bits and pieces of their story. How things played out in the beginning and how things at the end connect with each other. In the beginning, when Ashu and Wen Kexing meet for the first time in the streets, Ashu is just like leaning on the staircase, and like he has the sun like blinding him, and he has his hand like sort of like blocking it. And then towards the end, after Wen Kexing like fights with Cao Weining's shifu, he leans against the tree, and he has also his hand like covering his face for the sunlight. And so that's that, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, what? So another thing that I feel like everyone knows, and I know when I watched the drama, I was like, in the beginning, it's Wen Kexing like stands in front of Ashu, like all the time because he wants to protect this person. And then after as Shu finds out more and more about Wen Kexing and knows about Wen Kexing's identity, it's him like standing in front of Wen Kexing. In the special episode, the extra, which I knew because when I watched the some people spoiled the drama, like in terms of like showing certain videos of like behind the scenes and for certain scenes that haven't been aired yet, and based on what I saw the first time, the picture and the video, I was like, isn't this the stunt that they did in the beginning when they were flirting on the boat? I was like, isn't that the same thing? And then I was like, Wen Kexing's hair is white, so I was like, okay. And then people noticed that they swapped places. So in the beginning when they fought on the lake, it was Wen Kexing going after like Ashu, but this time on the mountain it's Ashu going after Wen Kexing. So they swapped like their roles. And then another thing that I noticed on the mountain, like the extra, when the clothing came out, I was like, this looks like a couple's outfit. Because you see Wen Kexing's like clothing outside, the outer layer is blue. And then you notice on, for me, I believe I saw it, Ashu's like the ribbon, the thingy around his waist is blue. And then like, but he's like wearing a white layer like outside. So I was like, this is like a couple's outfit. But then people noticed they also switched the color of the outfits. So when Ashu and Wen Kexing first met, Ashu was wearing blue and Wen Kexing was wearing white. This time, Ashu is wearing white and Wen Kexing is wearing blue. So that's that. And everyone's talking about if this drama is an happy ending or a sad ending. I would say happy ending because first of all, like I had to rewatch the extra over and over, like the special episode over and over. Props to the production team for sort of lying to the leads that it's sort of like a bad, like a sad ending. Because first of all, everyone's like, is this like Ashu's like imagining all this? He's not, because Deng Quan and his son is, you know, his son is like, they see them, and he also, like, Deng Quan also sees them, and he said that they've been fighting their whole lives. So that's number one. Number two, Deng Quan's son, the stunt that he was doing was actually a stunt that Wen Kexing's dad gave to Wen Kexing. So only Wen Kexing would know these stunts, and this child is doing, the student is doing all these stunts. So that's another thing. So yes. And so I feel like that was smart of the production team when someone leaked the production, like the set list of like how that scene was gonna be filmed. They filmed two different versions, like two versions. So I think the two leads thought the ending for Wen Kexing and Ashu was bad. Well, the sad ending, but it wasn't edited into a way that it is a happy ending. So props to the production team for adding this special episode into the drama. But the writer did an interview like a couple weeks into when the drama aired, not too long. I don't know. And I saw the interview and the writer said the ending is a happy ending because life is already like miserable and bitter. Like I don't want to do that to the story. And she also stated that like for Xiang and Cao Weining, like their story, she can't change anything because in the novel that's what happens to them. But the only thing that she added was that in the novel, Xiang, like she didn't have a wedding or anything like that. She died like before her wedding. It was like in a preparation of her wedding, but this is like they died the day of their wedding. If you have watched interviews that they've done and everything, you will know some of the behind the scenes stuff that happened. So one of them, so I want to talk about it, it's really fun. So in the beginning, when Wen Kexing meets Ashu, he keeps telling Ashu like, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so pretty, you're so May. And then finally, because zhangzhehan, he's like, oh my gosh, why is this, sort of like thinking like, why is this character keep telling my character like I'm so pretty and everything, I'm beautiful, like what the heck? And so he's like, Meima. And then this is actually improv when zhangzhehan said Meima and then Gongjun responded with 完美. So this part was actually improv. Another thing from that scene is when Wen Kexin goes and touches Ashu's face, and that's actually also improv by Gongjun because he's like in the novel that also happened, so he's like, why not add it in? So the fight scene that they have with yayyyyy when yayyyyy found out who Wen Kexin is, the Ghost Valley Guju, and they're both on the ground. They had to reshoot that scene, that's one thing. They reshot it like almost when they wrapped up filming that whole scene. So in that scene, when they filmed it again, because I guess their like chemistry and everything, like they know each other and sort of like improv stuff, they know how to like go back and forth with each other. When they're done fighting, Wen Kexin goes and like tries to like help Ashu like stand up, and then like Ashu can't get up, and then Wen Kexin, this is actually Gongjun like improving, he's like, 你不是很厉害吗? Telling like Ashu like, are you like super like strong and awesome? Like how come you can't get up? And then this line was improv. Okay, it was added like in the moment. And so Ashu goes back and says like, 我起不来, I can't get up. Sort of like, it was like really cute, and I was like, oh, I really love that scene. That was actually one of my favorite scenes. Basically, they both improv those lines. Another thing that the actor that plays yayyyyy, he shared Gongjun and him, like obviously behind the scenes, they're like really like, they have a good relationship, and he says that in the script they also, you know, bicker, like there are like lines for bickering, but then there's a lot of things that they added in to the drama. So, and they obviously the director used it, but a lot of the things that they bicker about, it's like they thought about it before they shot it. Another behind the scenes story that I want to share. So you know that scene where Wen Kexin, like that rain scene where he breaks the flute. So obviously we all know how this is a very low budget production, and so that scene, we all know that the rain is real rain, like actual rain. It's not like the ones where they shoot up those holes of water into the sky and like making that rain scene. No, it was real rain. Secondly, the director said that there was actual rain, but when Zhou Zhang came into the scene, the rain stopped for some reason. So I think they had to use actual rain later. I don't know. That's what I saw in the director's interview. Thirdly, Zhou shared that when they filmed that scene, you know how she's wearing this purple costume? It basically, when she went to take off the costume, her skin was all purple. So that's that. That's all I'm gonna say. I just laughed when I just thought of that scene. So that is what I have for this video. I think this is gonna be a very long video that I've ever done because I said a lot, and hopefully it didn't bore you guys. And let me know how you all feel about this drama. I know that some people are starting to watch it. Thank you for checking out this drama. Hopefully you, I don't know, maybe interested in the language. I think that's awesome. And getting into also like what kind of novels are written. And I don't know, I just feel like for me, whenever I watch a drama that's adapted from a novel, I would go and find out what the novel is about as well. And I think it's really cool to see the writers, like what kind of like their genre and like what kind of content they make, and I think it's amazing. And so that's that. If you like videos like this, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. But before I go, leave in the comment below who is your favorite character, your favorite scene. Did you become a fan of any of the actors after watching this drama? Did you become interested in learning the language as well? I think that's amazing. That's really cool. And yeah, and I will see you next time. 商人们就是在这里呢，就是要跟山河令就是说再见，因为我觉得这部剧就是非常非常好，就是我看电视剧这么多年以来，我觉得 最近啦，就其中之一就是我非常非常喜欢的一部剧，那就是很开心，就是遇到了周芷舒还有温客行，那当然其他的演员还有就是张哲瀚，还有龚俊，还有很多人，那就很感谢他们就是来演这些角色，然后让他们就是真的感觉到他们在就是真实存在过，所以就很开心。So thank you for watching this video and I will see you next time.